Today we're going to take a look at how to write an equation from a table, from a graph, and from 2 points. Before we delve into writing our equations, let's take a look at the different forms of linear equations. The first form we have is slope-intercept form. This is the form that we are going to focus on today. Y equal mx plus b. Let's define each variable. The x and the y, they stand for a point on your line. The m, that's your slope, and the b is your y-intercept. Let's write an equation. Y is equal to 3x plus 2. 3 is my slope, and 2 is my y-intercept. Another form, it's the standard form. Ax plus by is equal to c, where a, b, and c are integers. An example, 2x plus 3y is equal to 10. 2 is my a, 3 is my b, and 10 is my c. Lastly, we have point slope form. Point slope form is y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. Let's label each part. M is my slope. My x1 and y1, those are coordinates of a point on my line. An example, y minus 4 is equal to 1/3 x minus 12. Let's take a look at writing our equation from a table using slope-intercept form. So the first thing we need to do is find slope. Finding slope from a table, we know we look for the change in y and our change in x. So my change in x is plus 2 and my change in y is plus 3. Using our formula, change in y over change in x, we now can find our slope, 3/2 or 3/2. Next, we're going to find the y-intercept. The y-intercept is where x is equal to 0. And if you scan through your table, you can see that 0 and 5. This is not always the case where you're able to find where x is equal to 0. But if it's there, this will surely be your y-intercept. So my y-intercept is 5. Lastly, we're going to write an equation in slope-intercept form. Just to refresh your memory, y is equal to mx plus b. So let's put those components together. Y is equal to 3/2x plus 5. Next, we're going to take a look at writing an equation from a graph. First thing we're going to do is find the slope. We know that finding slope given a graph, we use rise over run. So let's rise. That will be plus 2. Let's run. That will be plus 3. Rise over run, I have 2/3. Next, we're going to find the y-intercept. This is where the line crosses the y-axis. Let's locate the y-axis. Here's where my line crosses the y-axis at the given point, 0, 1. So my y-intercept is 1. Lastly, we're going to write an equation in slope-intercept form. Putting those components together gave us y is equal to 2/3 x plus 1. Lastly, we're going to look at writing an equation from 2 points. Here are the given points. First step we want to do is to find slope using the following formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Let's pull our points apart and label. So that will give us -4 minus 6 over 3 minus 1. Simplify that out, leaving us with our slope, m is equal to -5. Let's go ahead into step 2. You're going to use the slope that you just found and a point to find our y-intercept. So I am going to use point 1, 1 and 6. You can use either of the points, but I chose to do point 1. There's no negative involved. So let's go ahead and plug that in. We have our slope and we have a point. Plug that into our y equals mx plus b formula. Our y is 6. M is my -5, what we just found earlier, and my x is 1. B is what in question, so you just write plus b. Let's go ahead and solve, where b is equal to 11. Final step. We're going to write our equation in slope-intercept form. Y is equal to mx plus b. Our slope, -5, and our b is 11. Let's substitute that into our formula, leaving us with y is equal to -5x plus 11. Now let's just review the steps for writing an equation given a table, graph, and 2 points. The first step, we want to find slope using any given slope formula. Second step, we want to find the y-intercept. If given a table, you want to find the y-intercept where x is equal to 0. If given a graph, you want to find where the line crosses the y-axis. Given 2 points, you're going to substitute in the slope and 1 point into the y equals mx plus b formula. And finally, step 3, we want to write the equation in slope-intercept form. Hope that makes sense. Remember, you can always pause, rewind, rewatch as many times as you like. Now, it's your turn. I want you to pause the video and give it a try. Be ready for class discussion.